的意义啊，哦，我觉得是吗？
गोल में इस कॉन्फ्रेंस चल रही है। तो मैं जेएसी की तरफ इधर बैठा हुआ है फ्रांस का बंदा आसिम। नहीं यार, मैं इसलिए उठ के आ गया हूँ कि अब जो है ना ये गलत कर रहा है।
उसके भी कह रहे थे बाप यार ये तो कहने दो।
हाँ?
कभी जाता है।
एक मिनट देना जी 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 प्लीज।
आप सबसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि आप अपनी सीट्स पर वापस आ जाएं, क्योंकि हमने जो क्विज करना था वो अब होने वाला है स्टार्ट। Yeah, and is also there, so आप सबसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि अगर आपने क्विज को ज्वाइन करना है तो आप अपनी सीट्स पर वापस आ जाएं ताकि हम स्टार्ट कर दें। अब ये आपके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है कि आपने इंडिविजुअली करना है तो चॉकलेट पूरी आपको मिलेगी अगर आपने विन किया, अगर आप ग्रुप्स में होंगे तो डिवाइड करनी पड़ेगी। अब ये एक डिसीजन लेना होगा सब। ये भी है तो उसके लिए हमें कोई ब्रेकिंग वाला, वो क्या होता है जो क्या होता है पेनल्टी किक्स का इक्विवेलेंट, वो करना पड़ेगा। सबसे लास्ट टाइम गुजारिश है कि अपनी सीट्स पर वापस आ जाएं ताकि क्विज रन हो सके। आपको स्क्रीन पे menti.com नजर आ रहा होगा और कोड भी आ रहा है। अगर आप बिल्कुल रेडी होना चाहते हैं तो आप उसको बिल्कुल रेडी करके कोड एंटर कर लें। Okay, I think everyone is now here and settled down, so over to you, Esther.
Okay, fantastic. Have all groups logged into Mentimeter? Not yet? Okay. Then for each and every group, it would be good if you can create a group name, log on, and then as Maheen explained, we'll do it very quickly, so we will not use a lot of time. I'm sure you still remember some of the answers, so you will have 10 seconds to log it in, and then you will also see the correct answer right afterwards. And then we will also have the winning board at the very end, and I know whom to give the chocolate to. No, but we're not starting it, right? Are they? Is everyone in or no? Yeah.
Start that.
We start.
Technology. Okay. Well, you have to take out the answers. Is it now? Do they have to log in again? No. Okay. All right. So everyone is logged in? Otherwise, yeah. Okay. Then we can start. So we can move to the first question. Okay, you can start. But now, of course, I see what others are taking in. Is the time running or? Really? It's more than 10 seconds, no? Huh?
5 seconds to view the questions and then 15 seconds to answer the questions.
Ah, 15, okay. Are you sure? Yeah. And also for themselves, that they cannot see the results, because then they will change.
They can't.
Then we hide the slide. Or we
We have it at the end of these slides. We show that
Yeah.
winner on this question. So
Okay,
before that
but
slide,
this is more than 15 seconds. I mean, it's like 30 seconds now. Can we stop? And why do we have? Hmm? And why do we have 15? Sorry?
they are in, some people are in group.
Yeah, but we just need one player per group.
I think first question was not time based.
Okay. The time is running, so they enter now. Sorry, enter it one more time, please. Why? This is not. This is the next one. And the first question? Huh?
This was for the first.
But the first question was it?
किस नाम से है? All the questions are-
Okay, sorry for the first question, which apparently is not in the quiz. There, I don't know. We couldn't see who got it right or wrong. So there were two correct answers to the first question. So it's. Can anyone tell me the two correct ones we didn't see? It's based. It's where you can find the data on reduction of inequality and poverty. Where can we see it? Where, in which databases can we find it? And the UNESCAP, yeah, exactly. So those are the two databases where we have performance indicators, right? And where we can simulate the effects. Why do we only have 12 questions? Yeah, but we have 16 questions. 16 questions. There are only 12. All right. Yeah, it was India. Does anyone remember where did you find the data? Sorry? Yeah, UNESCAP. I mean, you can also find it in the Aspire database. I mean, you can, but it's actually easier because there you would have to combine different interventions. So the Aspire database, just the dashboard, you will not find it instantaneously. There you have to build your own report if you want to get this data. So if you guessed on the basis of Aspire, all good. But I mean, you know, the other tool is actually a bit more suitable for that. I mean, there you find it with the mouse click. Okay. Next question. So it does pay out, of course, if you're actually visiting the databases and not consulting ChatGPT or someone else. So it's 9.2 exactly. So, and it's actually very easy to find. Sorry, I mean, you just basically have to go to the country profile in the ILO data dashboards, and you find it. It's one of the first pieces of information. It's a lot of echo. Okay, next one. Maybe.
Does this data mesh with the data of
Okay. So what is the percentage that we actually see in the UNESCAP data? Does anyone remember what the percentage is? So the first one is 9.2, sorry? I think it's 8%, if I'm not mistaken, if I recall this correctly. We can look into it again, but I was actually surprised because it does say that they are using the ILO data, but they had a different statistic actually mentioned. So I mean, social protection coverage for the population, I don't think they said 95%. I mean, that would be extraordinary. But I think it was, I mean, we can look at it again. I think it was something around 8%, but also look it up. But surprisingly, they don't match. Yeah. Yeah, so it's not live data. I mean, actually, if you look at the dates, when the latest data was collected, it's actually from 2020 in the database. So they collect data on a more regular basis from the countries, but right now the interactive dashboard is not really up to date. It doesn't even get updated when the countries submit their reports. So they really wait for 3 years. And we inquired one more time from ILO as well, because we were not sure whether this was correct, our understanding was correct, and they answered that they only update every 3 years. That doesn't mean, of course, that the data doesn't get collected more frequently, but even that is not on an annual basis. Yeah, here the difference is really whether you see tax fine and social assistance or social safety net spending, you know. So you do also see expenditure in the ILO dashboards, but it's actually not whether it's tax funded or on a contributory basis. So they organize it by function. So under family, you might actually have contributory as well as tax funded expenditure combined. And so that's why you cannot clearly differentiate whether it's social transfers or not. So who voted yes?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, the ladies. Does anyone want to say where you found the private social expenditure? No ideas. Oh. I thought it was a deliberate choice. So no ideas. I mean, if you go to the OECD social expenditure page, you can actually specify whether you want it to be public or private. And private doesn't mean that, you know, they're sort of collecting data from every single person. So only certain types of private expenditure is counted here. So there's a clear accounting structure behind. Yeah, so sometimes individuals are paying into a mandatory scheme, for instance, or incentivized, publicly incentivized scheme. And so this is also counted as social expenditure in this case. So that's a bit the rationale behind, but yeah. Yeah, but I mean, here is it's only saying whether any of the databases captures, but yeah, so we have one. Yeah. Okay. It's getting tighter. Okay, next one. So where did you find the data? I mean, the groups that got this correct. ChatGPT. A wild guess, okay. Well, if you don't want to make it a wild guess, there is a database where you can find it. Yeah, I mean, an educated, wise guess for sure. So if you go into the ISA country profiles, this is where you find the data. This is where you find qualitative information about the different schemes. Yeah. Okay, so this one, if you go into the Aspire database and if you click on targeting, you get those indicators, yeah? And there's also a list that explains all the indicators in detail. Yeah, and so targeting performance, you're not looking at the adequacy, and the coverage only gives you part of the information. It doesn't tell you exactly whether you have reached out to the right ones. Okay. Okay, almost everyone got this one right. What is the difference between effective and legal coverage? Can anyone explain? Anyone, any attempt? Oh. ILO, exactly. That's where you can find both. I mean, you can find data on legal coverage and on effective coverage. And yeah, but what is I mean, it's already part of the name. I mean, legal coverage, what could you imagine does it stand for? Yeah, the population who is reached through the scheme, who's actually legally covered. So if there is a legal entitlement to it, this is basically the population that is counted here. And then effective coverage, exactly, yeah. And so that's the difference, and that's why effective coverage should also be lower in most cases, yeah, than the legal coverage. Johnny is moving up. Yeah, yeah. We can move this. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. I think here we just stop again. Okay, 3, 2, 1, stop. Okay, maybe we should clarify what is qualitative data in comparison to quantitative data. Exactly. So, I mean, it's basically anything that qualifies a scheme, for instance. If you have eligibility criteria, if it talks about the performance, thresholds, etc. And quantitative is basically what we've just been looking at, the percentages that we find, coverage, adequacy, etc. And so this is why also the country profiles and the MISOC database, they both give you detailed information, yeah, about the different schemes. Okay, last questions, last 3 questions. Anything is in? So the household data or the databases that don't use household survey data, what type of data do they use? Anyone? So if we're not using household survey data, on which data do we rely, or do the databases rely? In particular, ILO? Sorry? Yeah, well, I mean, this is part of it, but it's based on administrative data. Yeah, so administrative data that is captured by each institution, like who enrolls, you know, how much do they get, how long are they staying in the program, etc. Yeah. Okay, 2 more questions. Yeah, so actually household survey data is used in order to simulate and to calculate the impact. So that's why the last one is not correct. Okay, final question. I know it's 2 more, right? Saying final question or? Okay. Well, unfortunately, I have to pass on the depressing news that none of them. The most recent is actually from 2018. Oh, we have one more. Yeah. Okay, and where did you find this information, or was it just an educated guess? Anyone? Okay, you use your own, okay, institutional memory, so to say. Yeah, so this is something that you can find, again, in the ESA country profiles. Yeah, so the qualifying conditions and all right, I hope, I mean, despite the technical difficulties, I hope you enjoyed the game and you learned also a bit about the databases, or maybe some of you are also curious to go back and to use some of the database. I don't think all the questions were displayed. So also one question asked you to go to the calculator, to the social protection, the social protection floor cost calculator. And yeah, so explore on your own. Hopefully that's going to be useful. And with this, I'm handing over to my colleague, Dr. Freya.